Information overload. Information overload. The audience gets into feeling they are overwhelmed, they are inundated with too much. That was one of the big lessons that I needed to learn when I started going out doing workshops. I felt that what I knew, this audience should know. And it took me a while to learn that the audience is not interested in knowing everything that the speaker knows. The audience is interested in knowing what they can use when the speaker is finished and the audience walks out that door. What is the information they can put into practice that will make their day lighter and brighter? So, what creates too much information? Where do you have too much information and the audience is in overwhelm? Well, often it's in the slides. Slides, showing slides with not just a bullet point, but with sentences and paragraphs and graphs and visuals where there's just too much detail. And too much detail is distracting to an audience because their focus goes in too many directions. And something else with that too much detail in showing slides is when speakers are speaking, describing the slide as the audience is trying to read the slide. People can't do both effectively. You can't really hear, listen, and digest to a speaker and then read and try to digest what's on the slide, on the screen. So, too detailed information on the slides. Number two, when the speaker is too intense in delivering the information. Maybe the information is not good news. Maybe the company is going through some difficult times. Maybe there are going to be some budget cuts, whatever. But when a speaker is too intense on delivering the information, what happens is the audience shuts down out of the fear, out of the anxiety, out of the frustration, out of the emotional element that actually drains the audience instead of inspiring them and helping them move forward. Sometimes circuit speakers, they get on there thinking, oh, I'm going to pull the heartstrings. When you pull too many heartstrings too often during a presentation, at the end, there are no more heartstrings to pull because the audience is tuned out. So, intensity. And the last thing sometimes that can really interfere and add to the feeling of information overwhelm is when a speaker speaks too quickly without pausing. It's not the speed necessarily, but it's the lack of pausing in between that gives the audience a chance to think about what was just said, digest it, internalize it, and think about how they can put it into practice when the speaker is finished. So just too much information, too many details, too intense, and too fast. It's very difficult for people to take the action that you want them to take when they aren't clear and they can't separate the information that they need for them from the other extraneous information that the speaker is giving them. People are always looking for a speaker who is clear, direct, concise, and adds a bit of interest. So, how to prevent, how to stop, think about stopping to overwhelm your audience with information. Here are 5 steps. Number 1, and I've mentioned this one before, be clear on your point, be clear on your point. One clear objective. Write it in the palm of your hand. When I am finished with my presentation, I want my audience to, whatever it is that you want them to do. Number two, make sure that you've got supporting material that is directly linked to your message, to your objective, to the outcome that you're looking for. Sometimes it's easy to get so much information, but we don't break it down. And so look at the information you've got, the supporting evidence, and ask yourself, which of these best supports my objective, the outcome that I want? And if it doesn't, then just put it in a parking lot somewhere, save it for another time. So number 1, be clear on your objective. Number 2, make sure that you remove any content that does not directly, clearly, and concisely support the outcome that you're looking for. Number 3, when you're doing delivery, speak in shorter sentences. When we read, we'll write, oh yeah, longer sentences are fine. Sometimes long sentences can be a paragraph. But when we're speaking, short sentences make it so much easier and make it more comfortable for the audience when it comes to listening and help them understand. The other thing that you can do as you're speaking in shorter sentences, add sentence variety. And that might mean asking questions instead of just statement, statement, statement. The next one here, when it comes to slides, number 4, when it comes to your slides, think about clear. Think about Steve Jobs, actually. Think about Steve Jobs and how he used slides. So memorable, so effective, so easy for his audience to grab his point. So think about one bullet point or one visual, clear visual. If you're showing graphs, make sure that the graph can be seen from all parts of the room without people having to squint or take a magnifying glass or run up and say, "What's that last line?" No, make sure that it's easy. So, one idea, and make sure that you're not, as a speaker, God, I had to bite my tongue many times, that you're not speaking when people are reading the slide. Let them read first and then go through with your explanation. And number 5, become aware of your speaking speed. As I said earlier, it's not necessarily the speed, but it's the fact that people don't have a downtime. So have a pause, welcome silence for them, give them time. So to let your ideas, your concepts land with them, they can think about it, formulate any questions, digest what they need to know, and are clear in how they can use this when they leave the presentation. Audiences are never impressed by an overwhelm of information. It's a tune out and it's a turn off. What audience are looking for, any audience, all audiences are looking for information that is clear, that is direct, directly related to what they need, what they want, and what they need. So when they leave, they can take the information you've presented as a speaker, the information you've presented, and they can use it to make their day lighter and brighter. Until next time, this is Dorothea Hendriks wishing you mountains of success.